Birmingham City had a brilliant 24-25 season, breaking point records in EFL League One to get back to the championship. However, in 2025-26, things haven't gone their way. So today we're going to make sure Birmingham go into 2026 with a lot more confidence, as a lot of players around world football have had standout years this season, and I'm going to be selecting the few that I think have had the best to rebuild Birmingham logically, getting players ready to step up and take this blue side from League One success to Champions League success on the big stage. As yes people, this is the team we have, and welcome to the last video of 2025. I know that is so disappointing that it won't just last a little bit longer, but this is the Birmingham side. Some very decent players here. Ethan Laird, he's a youngster himself. We've got Jay Stansfield, now as a cam, not as the forward man. And Christoph Kleirer, a centre-back I'm a huge fan of when he plays. Did just get sent off in real life against Derby County, brilliant for him. And this Birmingham team, as we've got 40 million to spend in the bank. As Tom Brady is on board with this project, he's putting the money into St Andrews and maybe a new stadium soon, as we've not gone ahead and used life points at all. I'm taking this Birmingham team up by signing players the way we want to sign the best players of 2025 and gain automatic promotion. That's a big objective when we've got 3 players 75 rated. However, they are actually old ones. We still should be able to do this objective. Reach the division above. We've got Fujimoto, Newman, Tommy Doyle on loan from the rivals Wolves, and then Clara's going to stay the captain for me. However, will this formation change? Because I've got an idea. I don't like my wingers, despite one of them returning to the club on a big wage, and that is Damari Gray. Returned from his stint in Saudi Arabia, but I have different plans for this squad, and that is to go to a 5 at the back, the 5-2-1-2. Stansfield, back as a striker. We're going to get these players on board playing centre-backs, and probably go ahead and sign another centre-back. Move Iwata back into midfield. And in fact, we could go like that. Keep Stansfield in cam, get Fujimoto in the midfield. Put Jack Robinson at the back, but you know, he's going out of this squad. And also, we need to change Laird around. We need him as our left back, although I do want to bring another player in there. As let's not beat around the bush, Birmingham City definitely have the money to spend. As for once, I'm not starting on coaches. I'm starting on Josh Achimapong, a player who's had a breakthrough at Chelsea, getting in the first 11 sometimes, and even scoring against Nottingham Forest. This guy could play as our left back, or even centre back, which I think is more important with there being 3 of them in our defence. And now, I know Stansfield is at cam, but we've got Williamson on the bench who can go there, plus we need a striker down here on the bench. And Williamson's actually 26, 70 rated, no potential. I'm not in a selling mood this first season, but I am in a buying mood. And one player that doesn't start as a cam, but we know had a brilliant 2025 season, is the 19-year-old Tom Watson. Scored the winner for Sunderland in the Championship playoff final, as he's into this team as well, training as a cam because he's actually a winger, giving us this team. But if you think the business is done, you're highly mistaken, because just to be sure with the money, I'm going to go for a player that did reach as a captain the playoff semi-finals with Bristol, Rob Dickey. Or vice captain, I'm reading now. Got that one slightly wrong, but I did not get the profit margins for Birmingham City wrong at all. 88 million it said we made, but actually we spent a lot. Because when you look at them contracts, look at the money some of our best players are on here. Bright Isaiah Samuel is one of them. He's on something over 30k. For Ahashi, at least we're getting some increases in some permanent players. Even some we actually loaned out, like Lee Buchanan, the backup left back. Mark Leonard, only 24, a centre mid. He went to Falkirk to get some game time, as coaches came into our club in the meantime. As players have continued to change positions, Iwata to a centre midfielder. It's took a long time in actually changing players, and it looks like all the players we wanted to play actually haven't done, including one of our new signings. Josh Achimapong not playing, but when we do look at the best players of this season, Dushk and Furuhashi, 2 of our strikers, never can go wrong with that. Still not the highest in the division, but both in the top 5. 4 goals, and when you look at that, 5th position. Solid for Birmingham City. Not forgetting this is their first season in the Championship. Unfortunately, I've got to look at Aston Villa, reaching a final of the FA Cup, but we just got beat by Arsenal 2-1. And then Barrow. I'm starting to dislike Barrow in this game. Always beating the team we're in charge of, as we beat Hull City in the semi-finals of the Championship before actually beating Frank Lampard's Coventry. In real life, they're the best team going, but here we've beaten them to a Premier League place. And we're going to be there in Season 2. Maybe 2026 is going to be our year if rebuilds go like this. And if you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. On a deep level, one-on-one, we are on the race to 70,000 subscribers and 500 likes on the video, there's 63 million to spend. Not bad at all. And we look at Laird, who's one of the weakest players, but then again, we've got this left back, Cochrane, who's come through. With the main positions needed, probably another striker, because Dush, despite the goals he scored, is going down. And Allsop in goal. He is not what we bargained for. Also put Clara in this defence. And we're going to have to fix this up, because I don't want to be going down back to the Championship after one season, as the goalkeeper from last year was James Beadle, and he's only 21 years old. And this guy had a good 2025. He won the under-21s Euro, starting every game for England, and was named in the team of the tournament, so that's enough for me. He's getting signed on a permanent deal, taking 11.5 million away from the 50 mil. I don't want to lose in one swoop, meaning fringe players will have to go out, and also I'm going to sell some first team players if the price is right, as Jack Robinson going to Leicester City, Tyler Roberts joining the ranks of the millions of strikers at Wrexham, Dion Sanderson heads to Sheffield. I'm making every penny I can get. Ryan Allsop's going the same, because don't forget, we need to get the best players of 2025, which aren't going to be cheap. And there's 2 positions I now want, which might not be positions you predict, but I want a striker and I want another central midfielder. Rob Dickey can replace Achimapong for the moment until he eventually grows, with Paik Sung-ho being actually 29 and Dushk being 32. As the first player I really want, breaking through at Newcastle despite his brother not doing the same, and despite them having a bit of an off-season, Lewis Miley I'm going to bring in, because I honestly think he will score goals from that central midfield position. And then this man, he's one of my favourite strikers in the game, is this man. Eli Junior Krupi. What a man. Straight into our starting 11. Achimapong playing, also Tom Watson. But Lewis Miley is now frozen out. I don't get it. Why is he not playing? The rest of the team looking exceptional, but then again, we've got some ages creeping up. In Dushk, of course, the backup striker, Furuhashi, who has scored goals, is now the age of 32. And it's still them 2 who score more than our new 2. In Krupi Jr., only 20-year-old, but only played 19 games. Plus this other man, who I thought was going to be the star for me, and I'm not changing him to a cam anymore. In Jay Stansfield, he's going to get on that poacher drill. And if he doesn't play well next season, well, I think I'm going to loan him out anyway to make him better than our current 2, and at least we do survive Season 1 in the Premier League. That is brilliant. Or Season number 2 of the rebuild, sitting on 40 points, the magic number, 14th in the Prem. That is wonderful, and all I could have asked for despite having quite a large budget. We just survive with Newcastle, Miley's old team beating us in the FA Cup, and Shrewsbury, a game I'm going to watch tonight, includes them. Obviously, I'm off to watch my club Grimsby Town play in EFL League 2, with Grimsby in this Carabao Cup reaching a round of 16 against Chelsea. Good for them, but not good for us, as Clara's back into this team. Jose Samuel, one of the highest, same as Fujimoto, who's left-footed. I need to swap him round, and Furuhashi, I mean, I really wanted to focus this save around the main man, Jay Stansfield. Used to score a lot in the Championship before they were relegated to League 1, and did score a lot in League 1, but for me, he's going on the loan list. I do have another striker in mind, and I do want to get some selling going, as Tom Watson, Sunderland through and through, a bid from Newcastle? No thank you, that is terminated as a loan from Galatasaray for Jay Stansfield. That could be good. Around the loaning of him, we're going to sell some players, only the fringe ones, in order to make some money. And I think Jay actually picked a different club to go to. Minor voice break, but he's going to Marseille for 2 years. At least we can recall, and we're definitely not done with business. We'll need another striker for this year. We've got 58 million given, yet we're still pulling in more cash with Lee Buchanan going to Southampton. Damari Gray, he returned home and then he leaves home. Like a student on a study mission, as there goes Kyogo Furuhashi back over to League owners. We've done a lot of selling in this save, taking us to 83 million. And there's a player hanging out in a different division that's had a brilliant 2025 once he got in the Brentford team. I got Thiago. I didn't even know he was that young. 90 potential on him. I think I've got to bring the big man in. 11 goals this season in the Premier League. And he's now back here with the Blues. Him and Krupi, little and large, up front for us. But I'm going in for a large defender as well, stealing from another Premier League club, and I'm glad I actually sold some players now. As Milenkovic is added to this back line, he's not got pace, but he hasn't got age on his side as well. However, he's really good. At an 85 rating. As I also haven't mentioned in this video, this kit is really good. Got it for Christmas, the Grimsby Town away kit. Definitely doesn't look like Crystal Palace's. Maybe brings us an FA Cup trophy in real life or in this save here with Birmingham, as Milenkovic the highest rated. In fact, our two new signings were the highest. Tom Watson's got some growth this year, and Stansfield, he's still got a year out at Marseille, but he's had a good year this year round. And we have into the top half with a 10th place finish for Birmingham. It's slowly building up. However, as you can see, we're in 2027 to 28. This is 2025's best players. Meaning if we want to keep using the best players from this year, we've got to get a hurry on. Because the best players are just getting older. Milenkovic this year had a really good season with Forest, but now he's 30, heading into 2027. So yes, have to act quicker, have to get better in cup competitions. Losing to Leicester and Southampton in the Carabao Cup, that's disappointing. And you know what else is? Our lack of goals. With the brilliant strikers we've got in Thiago and Krupi, I expect a better. Same with Dushk, who sits at 72 rated. And I'm just staring at this man here. Season 4 now. We need to try and get into Europe, as the board are asking us to. Europa League spot, reach the round of 16 stage of the FA Cup. And I think the only way we do it is with another striker. In Stansfield now back at the club. We changed one of these to a cam. We've got a solid bench. Yes, Peacock Farrell's not the best backup goalie, but do we really need that? I don't think so. Also could do with another centre-back in the team. Ed of Newman, we've got Achimapong, who I thought would grow quicker. So yes, centre-back. We could go with Milenkovic's partner, Murillo, who I think is amazing, but he's injury prone a little bit in real life, but a player that played against my club Grimsby in the Carabao Cup and didn't play well is this man Aiden Heaven at Sociedad, evaluated at maybe 20 million if we're cheeky with it, but no, we've ended up paying 30 for his services. Breakthrough year for United, and did you see who was in charge of Sociedad? It's only Mikel Bloody Arteta, and he's very insecure in his job security. Don't know what he's doing wrong there, but that's a player breaking through at Man United into the back line. And now, where can we actually strengthen? With £33 million, maybe it's out to get in with that first team, because when Mark Leonard's a cam, that's the bench covered completely. As I'm sniffing around centre mids, and Fujimoto, 29-year-old, 83 rated. Can we actually cash in on him? I think it could be beneficial, but the other centre mid, only 22, is Lewis Miley with an offer in from Juventus. 48.4 million. It's really good, he's Lewis Miley, but when you do get an offer of that calibre, and we are on a hunt for Europe, I think we've just got to sell him to an elite club. Juventus get him, but it leaves us 84 mil, just looking for a centre mid. And I knew this centre mid all along when we got the chance was going to be bought. Angelo Stiller, what a player. He's only 28, he's left-footed, and when we flick to his stats, look at that. He looks more defensive-minded. And it did take 2 weeks to actually get him to a centre mid, which I simmed out, made sure he got that increase from an 87 to an 89, and then I did what any normal person would do. I flopped him straight into that team, next to Fujimoto with Watson in front of him, Krupi and Thiago. The small man and big man, I'm hoping he's working for this 11, but ultimately the results will tell us differently, or maybe tell us it is working as our fullbacks. They've lasted from the start, Bright Ozzy Samuel and Alex Cochrane, doing phenomenally well for us as Krupi actually outscored Thiago, grabbing so many more goals than him, but still doesn't grab the player of the season, as we don't grab any slots in the team of the year anyway. Maybe another bad year. However, this table tells us we've actually not had a bad year, only 8 defeats, and Birmingham City miss out on the Europa League to go straight up to the Champions League, 5 points clear of Man United, Spurs and Chelsea falling outside of it. Really bad year for the Toon. Down in 13th, and what I'd love now more than anything is a trophy to solidify us as elite, but it's Manchester City winning the FA Cup, or beating us in it. They actually win the Carabao instead, with us losing to Chelsea. At least it's 2 major English teams, and that's actually disappointing. Right, I do want a trophy this year, with the board expecting us to win the FA Cup. Tom Brady has it in for us as manager. We do have to prove our worth though. £161 million tells me we don't just need to win the FA Cup, goddamn Champions League. With a team looking like this, it's got players on the come up like Achimapong, like Heaven, like Beadle, then players with experience such as Milenkovic. And yeah, the fullbacks are still the same. I might want to sign one of those, and then maybe just behind Krupi, who did score goals, someone instead of Watson. I only say that because we've got room on the bench for another cam, and he's a classic number 10. Then again, we have the money, we have the player, maybe just focus on somewhere lower rated. Maybe we could even get Miley back, because all my days, look at his growth. Juventus stole a young gun off us, 23 years of age, 87 overall. I think I now would have rather kept him than signing Stiller, but still he's 90 rated, and still Juventus hold a young gun we could steal back. Trading Wonder Kid for Wonder Kid, Kenan Yildiz has had a brilliant year, despite Juventus' form, and he's 24-year-old, 91 dribbling. Would cost all our money, but then I do want to check the right back I had in mind. In this man, Daniel Muñoz, and you know what? He is on the decline. 11 million for this man, right? If we're really smart with our money, I might go in for the clean sweep. If we could offer £8 million. We've got our backup in. The only issue is he's taking a huge wage, taking us all the way down to 145 million. He costs 60 million overall. That is mental, but like I say, he's going to get his place on the bench ahead of Laird. And now, Watson, if he's down to the bench for Kenan Yildiz, could be spectacular, leaving us 2 cams to fight for trophies, as we have gone ahead and pulled it off. Kenan Yildiz into Birmingham City. Oh, and I thought that signing would actually bring us the Premier League title. Looks like Santa left a present, not delivering it to us. Still, the goal difference is very bright, just like Rudolph's nose. I don't know why I'm going with the Christmas puns. It's just been Christmas. We're heading to 2026. Very excited. And then Liverpool in the FA Cup. Brilliant. We're going to go trophyless. We beat Newcastle, or Newcastle beat us. If we beat them, we'd still be going, as Igor Thiago's old club actually win a trophy, before we go ahead and deliver one, beating us on the way. Shameful, as this is the team, and it is shameful because it should be doing a lot better. Still, Heaven now the lowest rated. However, I still are in front of him. Yildiz, Thiago, Krupi, Jay Stansfield on the bench. We can switch that around. Newman, Muñoz, Watson at an 87. How's he still sat in our reserves? I will never know. Maybe we change this formation up, because you can see we like to score goals, despite maybe being too defensive, and we do go through into the playoff round. the Champions League, losing 3-2 to Stade Rennais of Ligue 1, which is massively disappointing, especially when you look at the players they've got, an 84, Cisse, an 80 Jordan James, who I think used to play for Birmingham City. Mayenda is there. They've got some decent potential players. Kevin Schade, who just scored a hat-trick the other day for Brentford, and 184 million to us to improve this team with, as the only objective has to be winning that Champions League trophy. However, we've got to change this team up. I didn't realise with 5 at the back with the deep approach. Get balanced, but I'm going to struggle to balance this formation with the players I want to get into the team. Maybe this is our best shot. Or maybe this is. Right, we've got a lot of position swaps to do to make this work. At least Heaven's out of the team. We do get Tommy Watson in, with the 2 cams being our best players, but it does screw over Fujimoto, falling into a more defensive position. Then again, if we change him, only 7 weeks as a 31-year-old to change from attacking to defensive. That's sensational growth. Then again, his stats are almost in the 80s. Defensively, that is. And we still can sign a defensive player with the money we have, as we're expected to go and win everything, whitewash the world with Birmingham City trophies. And I need to change Stiller back. Only taking 2 weeks. Now, Lewis Miley could have been defensive for us. Really regret selling him now. Look at that. 84 defending. Not to mention the 90 rating. But I've got other ideas still. As I was going to say, Josh Achimapong, but I'm not waiting. 162 weeks overall for that overall change. As one man I was thinking about signing and moving Achimapong forward, if I can say his name correctly in one go, was Dean Huijsen. He's gone to Liverpool. The opposite to Trent, which I think they will like, but another player who's had a standout 2025 is Adam Wharton into the England team, just like Krupi somehow ending up at Bournemouth, but Crystal Palace is where he's broke through, and he is only 26. Sure enough, we have a lot of money, and we could go and get some bench players, but Adam Wharton on a big sum of money's good enough for me. Gone up to an 88 mil, and I put the rest of the money into coaches to hopefully help the team grow. I'm seeing a bit more growth in Beadle on the bench as well. Heaven's getting a bit of growth. We've got Stansfield, we've got Fujimoto. Still yet to change. We've got Krupi and Thiago 88 and 89. Tall and small working up there for us, and Fujimoto the same as Wharton. In overall, as overall at this team, look at the ratings. Stiller still to change. He goes to a 92. So even higher. Not Taylor Gardner-Hickman, who I actually flicked onto, and Stansfield, 34 goals? That's unbelievable. He's outscored Krupi, Thiago, and Yildiz the main signing. Even though he's a cam, he's 92 rated. Amazing to see the Birmingham record breaker doing things like that, but it is not amazing to see we finish 4th in the Premier League. Draw's letting us down, to be fair. Apart from that, we did pretty good as FA Cup. It is Chelsea again. What's up with the 2-1s against fellow blue teams? But Arsenal show us up in the Carabao. Damn you, Peacock Farrell. I think as a backup goalie he's never been good enough. Still, I always wanted to spend my money on the first team starting 11. Always more important to me. We beat Copenhagen. We beat Tottenham Hotspur 2-1 before thrashing Ajax. We had to go through a playoff round, and Barcelona 5-3. Okay, we're in the finale in Season 2 against Dortmund at the Stadion Olympic against this team, which has Joe Bellingham, ex-Birmingham himself, as well as the brother, Jude. This isn't really fair, is it? Right, they've changed the stadium to Bayern Munich's. Now, I know it's their rivals, but playing in Germany, come on. A German team in the finale in their home country is a little bit unfair, especially when it was supposed to be at the Stadion Olympic. We need to get a tackle in. Zay Samuel, both fullbacks here from the start. Sturm into Joe Bellingham. Stansfield still on the bench, despite all the goals he grabbed. And Watson into Igor Thiago. Krupi around the corner. Good play. Yildiz ready to shoot, but just couldn't get his shot off. And now Milenkovic into Wharton. Adam Wharton down the line into Watson. That's a brilliant turn away from his man. He still needs to keep on going, and he does. Here's Tom Watson into the box. It's a good job we got him back into the team. Goes for the finesse. What? Penalty given. against Gent, or however you say his name in the defense. It's going to be Kroupy to go 1-0 up in bizarre circumstances. I think it was a handball. The replay got skipped, but Eli Jr. Kroupy, our number 21, has us 1-0 up in a Champions League finale. I will struggle to moan and groan at that one. Still, we've got to keep on playing as Adam Wharton just runs into the ball. Very lucky there, and Kroupy through that gap onto Wharton, or Watson. Thiago, you have to score. Very sloppy from the big man, and we wasted it at the corner. Into Watson, Kroupy on the volley. So close to grabbing his second there, as we go into the second half with a very low goal shot ratio, whatever you want to call it, in that first. Both teams not doing too well as Yildiz. Come on, let's score straight away in this second half fairly, because that goal that should have counted for nothing, the miserable penalty, was given without explanation. We need to keep this press on, but Dortmund just walking straight through it. Joe Bellingham tackled well. Adam Wharton with the pass off into Kroupy. The gap goes into Kenan Yildiz. Counter-attacked after a little bit of good play by Dortmund. You cannot beat that. Sneaking up on your opponent. Looks like 2025 is going to end fairly straightforward and nicely for us right here. We've had some good Champions League finales as of late, but still, I want to make sure we get this over the line. That's a good pass down the line into Adeyemi, who's got round Milenkovic. That's probably their first shot. At least we're getting a replay here, but not a very good one. To explain Dortmund's penalty, maybe the referee trying to just loosen the game up, make it fair, as Beadle dives out of the way of it. And just like that, we're back at 2-1. We're back 1 goal in front as Watson, I'm so glad I got him into the starting 11. He's been probably our best player in this game. And that's saying a lot, because Kroupy's been good. Thiago not. Tries to get his shot off again. I think a penalty was going to get given. Or it hasn't done. A free kick on the edge of the box. Ooh, I'm going to give it Adam Wharton. I don't think I've seen him take one in real life. If he scores this, maybe Pally should keep him on them. And that's a brilliant free kick from him. The first one scored of the year in the final day of the year, Adam Wharton. As this is beautiful. The number 23 bends it, and he just goes over the tall man in the wall's head. That's fantastic. No saving that, and should be winning. The best players of 2025 doing it here in 2031, I believe the year is. That's a brilliant ball. Thiago trying to join in the fun. He's muscled off. This is going to be another free kick in a decent position. And you know what? Just to change it up, I know this sounds stupid, but I'm going to give Yildiz it. I'm going to give him a bit of power. Change the taker. Almost goes in as well. Been a fun finale this, as Bayer... Oh my days, he makes it interesting. Smart finish by my man Maxi. Always love someone with that first name. And he grabs himself a very smart finish. A very shrewd finish as we need to get the ball back. Stiller. He does. Stiller manage to get it. I'd love a 4th goal just to try and see this off. Thiago, he's been due one. Really poor finishing from him though. And now we're into the final few minutes. It's Nemecha coming forward. They're going to want to force extra time, and that's a good move from Bayer. If they could whip the ball in here, we need to win that as a Samuel. He does, into Angelo Stiller to pass it out into Watson, and that is the final whistle blown. No longer will I be confusing Adam Wharton and Tom Watson, because we have done it. Birmingham win the Champions League due to a free kick. And we get a very satisfactory ending to this rebuild with the 2025 players. It's going to be Milenkovic to lift it. Obviously did really well with Nottingham Forest under Nuno. Struggling a little bit towards this new season that started in September. As we're at the end of December, and I've got to say at the end of this video, if you did enjoy, subscribe, leave a like, and I really hope you guys have a brilliant new year and have some luck in 2026.